Hey guys, welcome back to the shop and another flea market finds episode. This is from a swap meet that I attended down in Connecticut on October 30th and 31st. It was scheduled to be a Friday, Saturday swap meet, a 2-day event. Or was that Saturday, Sunday? I honestly don't remember. But on the first day, it poured. So a lot of the dealers who had intended to be there for 2 days didn't even bother showing up on day one. But they had a large building because it was on a fairgrounds, and in the large building they had about 15 dealers who had showed up and already set up. And luckily for me, one of those dealers had machinist tools, and I ended up buying from him. Most of the stuff you're going to see here came from that one dealer that day, and I think all of it did. And then I went back the next day when the sun was shining to see what other dealers would show up. And I hit this guy again and bought some more stuff, which will be in the next episode. And then we had the big Thompson International Speedway flea market and swap meet that happened in November. And I saw him there also. But I didn't get as much from him there. And there's a story behind that. So anyways, we'll move along, so let's get right into it. So I walked in and spotted right away. He had some height gauges, and I spotted this Mitutoyo 12-inch, and he already had a price on the top here. He had the painter's tape with Sharpie, and he had $10 on this, and I was like, it's got to be broken, right? My first thought was, oh, it's an import. Then I realized, no, it's a genuine Mitutoyo. And I'm like, all right, it's got to be broken. And then I was like, no, actually it works perfectly fine. And the reason why he deeply discounted this was because he probably got it for free from a shop that he works at. And the only issue with it is that the plastic cover that goes here is missing. These counters actually work perfectly fine. Everything seems fine with it. So it even has the attachment for an indicator to mount to. And for $10, that was a no-brainer. He had a digital Mitutoyo there that was non-operational, and it was the old, might just need batteries story, but he wanted $40, I think, for that, so I passed on that one. It was an older one. Anyways, this for $10 was a no-brainer, and then actually I decided, instead of paying him for this right away, I'd look at what else he had and maybe put a pile together. I put together this pile and ended up getting this whole pile for $35. So this was a no-brainer at $10. That means I'm into this pile right here for $25. Let me show you what's here. We've got a Machinery's Handbook 18th edition, kind of dilapidated, but still usable. Okay. This genuine Craftsman stone. Okay, it's used, but it's kind of neat in the original box. I actually thought this was a box for something else, but then it says no. Craftsman combination round axe and tool sharpening stone, 3x5/8. Again, drop indicators. They're a dime a dozen for me. I have so many of them. So at this point, unless I can get them for dirt cheap, I shy away from them. Tested the water on this to see what he wanted, and he only said he wanted like $5 or $10 for it, so I put it in the pile. And then, like I said, it ended up working out. I ended up getting all this stuff for $25, so I'm not into this for a lot. What caught my eye on this is, yeah, it's the larger face, which is kind of neat, but also it is a tenths indicator. It's a .0001. So this is a model D21 Federal drop indicator, and it's fully operational. It seems to work perfectly, so it's not going to need anything. A live center. I didn't even look at the name. I just took a quick check and saw that it is not seized up, and it is, other than the surface rust sitting on it, it doesn't appear to have any damage. Those flats are there by design. And this is clearly marked the Ready Tool Company of Stratford, Connecticut. So that's a good USA-made tool. This beefy little clamp, that's a Billings and Spencer #1. That's a good quality clamp. Another Federal indicator, again, didn't want to pay too much for it, but again, got it in this whole lot for $25. It's a back plunge style indicator. Okay. It It actually works perfectly fine with this nice little hole attachment. So this lets you reach into a bore. So I like that. No planer gauges, but this was sitting there. So we got a 1 and a 2-inch planer gauge extension. And I just recently sold some planer gauges. This probably could have went on, but I think I have some planer gauges that are in need of extensions coming up. That one looks like it might be a Starrett or Brown and Sharp. A couple of random drift punches, these nice long ones. I believe these might be Starrett's. Yeah, these are both Starrett's. He had a whole bunch of hacksaw blades there. But I had spotted a lot of them were, I forgot what brand they were, but they were import. These are import, but I noticed they are import made in Sweden. So these are Speed Flex Special, made in Sweden. So I figured maybe they're decent quality, and that used one got in there by accident. No big deal. Drill index, always popular with my customers. I can usually get, $5 or $10 for these, depending on who makes them. And this one is a Starrett. And this is a number drill index. They made the number, the letter, and the fractional. Got a mega pick that's going to be coming up in about a month. And on that mega pick, I scored some crazy deal on some of these that look like they may be new old stock in the envelopes. But that's coming up, so look forward to that. Okay, this little drive dog might be handy. Got that little Craftsman lathe that I'm going to be fixing up to sell, and I want to be able to put some tooling with it. So some of the stuff that I bought both today and both that day and the next day, and some other things I picked up here and there along the way, are geared more towards maybe fitting that lathe, so I can put more tooling with the lathe, add value to it. And then he had this Machinery's Handbook Guide for the Use and Tables Formula. Okay, 22nd edition. This is a companion to help guide you use the big thick book. Okay, it's like a student thing. That was also with this, and this was the last item in this lot for $25. It is, for all intents and purposes, a bizarre gauge block set that I've never seen one like this in this weird little leather case. I almost thought it was, if you could have thought these were homemade, except for the fact that how elaborate this pouch is. So it's just a really early one. I don't think I was able to find markings on these other than the sizes. I mean, that's the thing. These gauge blocks scream homemade. They literally are the sizes are scrawled on there haphazardly. And I think if I remember correctly, I think he told me that this was something his grandfather had. And so that block's got initials scratched on it. WJG. That's got a bevel on the edge of it. I wonder if that started out life as something different. So I don't know. It was like, he didn't put much value on this, so I figured might as well include it. So then I went and looked at all the other dealers that had set up indoors. Didn't see anything of interest from any of those dealers. Noticed that the rain was still pouring on and off, so there still wasn't anybody coming and setting up outdoors. There was only like 1 or 2 dealers, hardcore dealers, that had set up their stuff in the field, and I already checked and nothing there for me. So I came back to this guy and put together another pile, and this pile was 55. Some of these items he had prices on, and when I saw the prices and started adding up my head, I thought we would be too far apart. That's why I didn't buy them initially. But then when I went back, he saw that I definitely was willing to buy, and guess he figured it was worthwhile dealing with me. So we were able to put together this pile for 55. Let's go through it real quick. We got a nice dog drive faceplate. Took a chance on this that, again, it might fit either a small South Bend that I have or that Craftsman. Now that I look at it, I think it's too big for the Craftsman, but it might fit the small South Bend that I have. This is a Morse taper die holder for in your tailstock. This he had $30 on, and what it is it's one of these Fowler X-Test indicators, which is a cheap knockoff of a Mitutoyo, and I pointed out to him that it has a problem, which is the sub dial, instead of being at 0, it's all the way over to the left, and it's not clocked correctly. But the real telltale sign that something is very amiss about this indicator is the fact that if you put down pressure on it, it works perfectly fine. Actually, it just hung there a little bit. If you put up pressure on it, it won't move at all. So something's very screwed up in there. And I'll probably open it up, take a quick look, see if it's something I can fix. And if not, well, then I'll have an extra case for, maybe I might have an indicator that doesn't have a home. This, what is this, 30 taper? It's a 30 taper end mill holder with a slitting saw arbor in it. This is an ETC. I forgot what brand name what that stands for, but I've seen that before. Something tool company. A no-name little parallel clamp. A little unidentified vernier. It's unidentified when I picked it up, but I can now see under magnification. This is a Starrett. It's a little Starrett vernier caliper with the fine adjust. This wrench, which looks like it's from a precision grinding vise. I said, boy, I wish I had the vise this went to. It sure looks like it's for a precision grinding vise. And he said, no, he didn't have any other vices. So, it has the look of like the kind of handle that you get with like a Herman Schmidt, but who knows. A dead center, small one. A little Morse taper adapter, small one. Large, genuine Jacob Chuck key. This is a little depth scribe. So this is for like going along the edge of something and scribing a line. You could say I just made a little tiny line there. So there is a little sharp point. It's actually a little disc with a sharp piece. And then you can just adjust this depth stop to what you want. And many of these are Starrett. This one is engraved FE Dill, but this is a Starrett. Okay, so that's a nice little piece, collectible. Little, one of these deal spanner wrenches here. This looks like a Cleveland. Looks like it's got the Cleforge logo. Pins look pretty good. Little lantern style tool post with 3, I think, Armstrong. Well, that's an Ace. That's an Armstrong. That's an Armstrong with a parting blade in it. An Armstrong parting blade holder. An Ace left hand. And a Armstrong. Well, they're both left hand. All right. A couple of Starrett tiny scales. A 1 inch and a 2 inch. A large dead center in a taper adapter. This tiny little scale that somebody made. I'm sorry, tiny little square that somebody made. It's not just a little nothing. They even did the bevel on that edge, like they do on some other squares. Another one of these Starrett number 64A ancient indicators. One of these deals. Now this one is looking kind of rough, right? But it's complete. And here's the thing. I think I sold one of these not too long ago to one of my guys. And it was just the indicator, but it was actually in good shape. So this is the holder, the posts. So it's complete. So the good thing about this is somebody who has a cleaner one of these could do something with this, or they could clean that one up. One of my guys likes to buy stuff like this just so he can show what kind of a beautiful job he can do cleaning this stuff up. Don't want to be your monkey wrench. That's a monkey wrench, right? Trademark. It's got an S and a circle. It literally says trademark, S with a circle in it. So now we get the whole name here. So one of my guys has taken to collecting these style old wrenches, which is why I put it in the pile. It's got some damage in the area right where the name is, so it's kind of hard to see. It looks like it's the HL something and company. Great. It's got an 83 No, 283 stamped on it. Kind of stamped over the actual name. Somethingville, Plainsville. Yeah, the H dot something and company. Plainsville, 283. That puppy's old. This little box, which was for, this is combination center drills, JT Slocum. But what's actually in here was just like some bric-a-brac. But then I was digging around in here and noticed that what's in the bottom, hidden in all this junk, set of toolmaker's buttons. Clearly marked, Starrett 494A. Nice find there. And these last two items of this pick on day one, these shop made or homemade, however you want to say it, non-commercially made, little pieces of heaven here. This is a little angle block. Guy took the time to put in these areas right here for little toe clamps to clamp this down if need be, or you could use it on a magnetic vise on your surface grinder. And it's got these little posts with the screws in it. And I'm sure originally there was probably 4 and 1 went missing. So you got a rough adjustment here for size of what you want to clamp. And then a fine adjustment with the screws. So that's a neat little piece. And look at this one. So I found this little key laying there with a pile of stuff and realized, yeah, that's the key for that. So we got some oopsies there, some drill marks down on the bottom, but otherwise, kind of a neat vise. He's got, I noticed, he's got a V-groove here for round pieces, and then it's tapped. So I think originally there may have been a couple of clamps that he had made to go on this that went missing. So interesting little design. I might keep that one, I don't know yet. That's it though. But that whole pile for $55 was a good deal also. Yeah, this video was pretty short, so I'm just going to add this on the end here. You know you're really busy when you order something and it comes in and it sits on your shop floor so long that when you stumble upon the box again, you totally forget what the heck it is. So this will be something for both of us to explore. Occasionally I make an eBay purchase, find a deal on something or something I'm looking for, so I'm guessing that's what this is going to be. Ah, this belonged in the main tool room according to this. Well, it's Starrett, and believe it or not, I still don't remember what it is. Early Starrett by the looks of it. Oh, a Starrett inside micrometer set. Great condition, nice full set, even has the little sleeve that sometimes is missing. And it's a 124. Feels good. We even have one of the rods in here. It's a good size set. So why did I buy that? So I bought this because it popped up on eBay and it had a really low starting bid, and I kind of got into a little bit of a bidding war there. 14 bids, but I ended up being a winning bidder on this at $38, and then it was only $11 to ship it. So I'm into this for $49, and not a lot of room for profit left there on that for me, but I don't know, I might even keep that set. I haven't decided yet. It's a nice good size set. Alright, now we can call this video a wrap. That's going to be it for this episode. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit subscribe. And when I see you next, I will show you what I picked on day 2 of this outdoor swap meet and flea market at the fairgrounds down in Connecticut. Take care.